Welcome to the Therapy Show podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Mustard. In each episode, I interview a seasoned and knowledgeable talk therapist from the counseling world to glean valuable insights, techniques, and tools that you can apply to your practice and your life. And if you're considering a career in the counseling field or just want to hear about what it's like to be a talk therapist, then this is the podcast for you. Well, hey there and Happy New Year. I hope you've had a great start to 2023. And it's been about 2 weeks since I've released a Put It Into Practice episode. So if you're new to my show, take a look at my past episodes and see if any of the topics are calling your name. One in particular I'd like to point out is episode 114, which is titled How to Start Something New in 2023, because what I'm going to be talking about in today's episode is a great follow-up to episode 114. So I want to share with you tips for handling failure. And let's just start by saying that some of y'all handle failure like pros. You take it in stride, you learn from your mistakes, and you move on. While others, well, not so much. They take it really hard and feel like it's a sign of weakness or even believe that it's a reflection of their character. And sometimes this comes from a mindset or a message that they received when they experienced past failures. Maybe they had a parent or a teacher or a supervisor or boss, or maybe even a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, even a good friend that made a comment about their failure, and it really imprinted on them and in turn impacted their morale and psyche. But there could also be a number of reasons why some people take failure so hard. But let me just say this. Everyone fails at something. And in fact, I'm going to say it again. Everyone fails at something, and it's how you handle the failure that matters most. I know that starting something new can be really exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time, because when I first had the idea to start this podcast, y'all, I was so excited, but I was full of nervous energy because I was pushing through my discomfort of being a beginner and starting something new. However, I had faith in my abilities to learn something new, and I also had faith in my ability to handle the idea of failure or failing. Because let's be real, it can be very scary and intimidating when we think about the possibility of failing. So how do we handle that fear of failure, yet keep moving forward? First and foremost, it's important to remember that failure is a natural part of the learning process. Nobody ever accomplished anything great without experiencing some sort of failure along the way. In fact, most successful people out there attribute their success to the lessons they learned from their failures. And not just one failure, multiple failures. I mean, you could just Google or search the internet for stories about successful people who have failed in the past, and you could be reading for hours. So when you do fail, try to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than a setback. Take some time to reflect on what went wrong and how you can improve for the next time or moving forward. Also, just give yourself some credit for giving your new thing a shot. I mean, so many people daydream of doing something new and different, but never take the chance on actually starting something. I talk to people every week who have amazing ideas, but for whatever reason, they don't move forward. They daydream about wanting something different for their lives. They daydream about maybe leaving their 9 to 5 and starting their own thing or starting something on the side. But for whatever reason, they don't move forward. And, there's always a number of reasons for them. But a lot of the times, they're excuses they have, and they have many. Yeah, some of them are very valid. But in my mind, if you want something bad enough, you really need to push those excuses aside and take action. And I want to say even take massive action. All right, so here are some tips to help you handle the idea of failure, or if you are going through failure, these ideas and tips I think can really help you. Number one, reframe your thoughts. So try and see your failure in a different way. You went for something, you took steps, you took action, but it just didn't happen for you. Yet, think about it like this: you are further along than most people out there. If you can see it as failing forward, each failure you have, take those lessons learned and apply it to your next move. So what lessons can you take from failure and learn from? So you're not bad. You don't have a bad characteristic or a flaw just because you failed at something. You have to learn to see failure in a different way. Tell yourself a new story about failure. Another tip I have for you is surround yourself with people who cheer you on and support you. You want to be around people who encourage and motivate you, even when things aren't going well. It's easy to get discouraged when we're faced with setbacks, but having a supportive network can make all the difference in helping us persevere. So find your cheerleaders. And I want to tell you, my cheerleaders, when I think about them, it's my family, it's my husband, it's my friends, it's my Sightcraft Network podcasting friends. It's other podcasters out there who aren't in the therapy world or who aren't counselors. Find people who are going to, rally around you and support you and help you, maybe move forward. Another tip I have is learn from those who are doing what you want to be doing or look for a mentor. Don't be afraid to seek help or advice from others who have more experience or expertise in the area that you're pursuing. Sometimes it just takes a different person or a different perspective or some guidance to help you get back on track. I can't think of anything off the top of my head where I have reached out recently to a mentor, but in the beginning, I was talking to other podcasters in the therapy or counseling space, asking them, how they came up with content, recording tips, talking about social media, how they were promoting their shows. And now, in turn, I've become that mentor for other people. Another tip, take a break and reassess as needed. So remember, it's okay to take a break and regroup if you're feeling overwhelmed or burnt out by having failed. It's really, really important that you take care of yourself and your well being before anything else. And if things just aren't working out with your new endeavor, it's okay to reassess and pivot in a different direction. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you're taking control of your own journey and making the best decisions for yourself. So I want to give an example. I have started two other podcasts and I love podcasting. Like I can come up with a podcast topic or idea like every day. I mean, I just love it so much. And so I had another podcast. I still have it. It's called Midlife Magic. It's still out there. I had another one that focused on like social selling and direct sales. And while I was seeing success with that podcast, I had the spark to start it, but I didn't want to keep it going. And I felt really kind of guilty and a little bit of shame for starting something and then stopping it. But now that I look back on it, it just didn't fit where I want to take my business and my goals. So I went ahead and just stopped it. And I tried it. I put myself out there. I gave it a shot. Like I'm so proud that I created another podcast. I think I had 10 or 11 episodes, but I still have those episodes and who knows, maybe one day I'll bring it back. But I tried it. I did it and then decided, I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't have any hard or bad feelings about it. So it's okay. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to reassess and change direction. Okay, the next tip I have is set goals, but measure your success by the actions that you take on a daily basis. So have your goals, and along the path to your goals, you need to know the action steps that you have to take and to reach those goals. And you have to take those action steps consistently because it all adds up. It all adds up over time. And the secret is creating consistency by taking the right actions to reach your goals. That's the secret. Like I've been doing this long enough that there's nothing else out there that's a secret when it comes to reaching your goals. It is setting your goals and then taking action daily and consistently daily action to reach your goals. And you could pretty much apply that to any aspect of your life. Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, in fact, I think you could. Also, celebrate the small wins along the way. This is going to give you a sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated to continue on your journey. Also, don't be too hard on yourself. It's so easy for us to get down on ourselves when we face setbacks or failures, but it's important to remember that we're all human and we all make mistakes. Just keep trying and don't give up on your dreams or goals. Like I said, you may have to reassess, you may have to pivot, you may have to take a new direction, but that's okay. You're learning as you go. And don't be too hard on yourself because, like I said earlier, hey, at least you're going for it. So many people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And you're doing both. You're walking and you're taking whatever. You know what I'm getting at. However, I do want to tell you if you're struggling with failure and it's starting to get in the way of your daily life and activities, then it may be time to talk with a professional. And so I've listed resources in the show notes that you can use to find a counselor that can help evaluate your mental health and symptoms and start helping you feel better soon. So look for that information in the show notes, okay? Now, remember, if you're starting something new and feeling a bit overwhelmed by the possibility of failure, just remember Take it one step at a time, work to reframe your thoughts around failure, and see whatever you're going through as a lesson and fail forward. Surround yourself with supportive people, seek help when you need it, find a mentor, and don't be too hard on yourself. Your dreams and goals are important, my friend, so stay inspired. The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard and the information provided by Lisa is solely intended for informational and entertainment purposes and is not a substitute for advice, diagnosis, or treatment regarding medical or mental health conditions. Although Lisa Mustard is a licensed marriage and family therapist, the views expressed on the podcast and on her website or any related content should not be taken for medical or psychiatric advice. Always consult your physician before making any decisions related to your physical or mental health. Hey guys, before we end this episode, if you are liking my content, if you're liking my podcast, be sure to go over and leave me a 5-star review on the podcast platform of your choice. And if you are up for it, I'd love it if you left me a review as well. Well, that wraps up another episode of The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard. I know there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and I'm thankful you've chosen to listen to mine.
Be sure to visit lisamustard.com to access the show notes and discover more fantastic content.
And I'd be grateful if you subscribe to the show. Thank you.